So the symptoms of endometriosis,
Sure.
they can vary. So my symptoms are I get quite a bloated tummy, that swells quite a lot, which can be really uncomfortable. I can't lift my bowels that much. I could go once every 2 weeks. Uh, the the pain is just horrific. The only way you can describe it, so I try and describe it to like my partner, or bless Henry, my little boy, he's very interested. He is that, like, imagine a squirrel. This is really weird analogy, but a squirrel and the scratching at like a tree. But imagine that's your insides and the squirrel was trying to scratch its way out. So it's just like a constant gnawing pain in your tummy and you just can't do anything but cry or, be on the floor. So I think if I was to describe the symptoms to anyone, that's probably what it would be. Other people obviously probably can relate things to other things, not squirrels, but that's sort of like my way of describing it. I think the most difficult part I've had with endometriosis is firstly not being listened to or taken seriously as such. I think we live in a man's world, don't we, really? So anything sort of female related just gets put to the back of the queue. And just not being listened to, definitely. Like, I've been to A&E multiple times and I'd be crying and they'd say, "Oh, would you like a paracetamol?" And you'd be like, "A paracetamol? Like, I'm here because I've been taking my own morphine at home that isn't working." And then so I lost my son Ewan because of endometriosis, because my body just was that scarred and damaged. It just couldn't keep onto him. And obviously I had my daughter premature for the same reason. And it's just annoying that it takes so long to put two and two together, to realise, oh, actually that's related to that. But whether that's lack of funding, I don't know. But just more people need to definitely understand a bit more and research more, definitely. Yeah, I've been very angry along the way. I think it's got to a point now where I'm not angry, I'm calm, if that makes sense. Just imagine sitting in an office with a medical professional who, they are meant to know everything and you're just the patient. And him, she, her, whatever, looking at you and saying, "There's nothing wrong with you. This is normal." But then you speak to other people and they're like, "Well, I don't have that," or "That's not normal," or, I don't have to stay behind in class because I've bled through my clothes and it's on the seat. And I don't want to stand up because there's a puddle on the seat. So you definitely do get angry. I think just putting your frustrations and your anger into trying to make people aware. Absolutely. My symptoms have definitely been minimised, dismissed multiple times. I say my sort of journey to diagnosis wasn't horrendous. Obviously, I got the whole, nothing's wrong with you and this is part of being a woman, or we don't think you've got endometriosis because you're young. But I think a lot of people have it a lot worse. And it does take a lot longer for some people, but you feel like you're being belittled all the time. And, I'd go to a thoracic appointment and the consultant said to me before I had surgery is that I've got patients 3 times your age and they deal with pain better than you do. So, yeah, you can imagine my face for that. My diagnosis and my treatment symptoms of endos had a massive impact, especially on me, like my mental health. Just first, obviously, pre-diagnosis, thinking that what you're dealing with is normal, and am I just being a wimp? Is what I'm dealing with? Am I just thinking it's this bad when actually it's not? that really does affect you mentally. You know, I can't even begin, you know, to explain and to process sort of how you feel about that mentally, and just thinking what you're dealing with isn't actually anything. But then to be diagnosed, at first you're like, yeah, you know, I've got an answer to how I'm feeling. But it never ends there. Like the fight, you got to fight constantly. You know, I have a like a Instagram account that I share like awareness on and things. There's so many people message me and say, oh, you know, I've got my diagnosis. How amazing! And I'm like, yeah, that really is amazing. But unfortunately, it doesn't end there. You constantly have to fight. You know, you go to A&E and no one listens, no one cares. You know, it is what it is. Or you go to appointments and I don't sleep for like 3 or 4 nights before because I'm worrying that they're going to say there's nothing wrong with you or we can't help you. And just mentally, it's a lot to deal with. On top of obviously everything else in life, and then the whole when I'm at work, my managers, they are understanding, but everyone only has a limit, don't they? They can only take so much, and I feel like I'm getting to that limit. So whether I end up not working anymore might be a different story. I've probably been off more than I have in, but I suppose that's just the journey with endometriosis. No, they definitely should be sections for people with chronic illnesses. So it is, my trust that I work for does class it as a disability, which is great. And we've got a policy, but I've read the policy and it doesn't actually help at all. So they're called like triggers, so like people who are, you know, just like don't have any long-term conditions, they might be able to be off so many times in a year, so many times in a 6 months. And if you've got a long-term condition, you're allowed to have more times off before it triggers as this is like a long-term thing, like can you do your job type issue. So that's good, but equally, you know, like they said that I need to have one sickness every 3 months. You can't choose when you're sick, can you? You can't. So they just don't get it. You know, things do need to be put into place better, or the government, I don't know, anyone, but what's happening at the minute obviously needs changing.
Like, I feel like the lack of empathy and
Gotcha. Yeah, no one's bothered, you know, and you go back to after you've had surgery and you come back to work and then they say, oh, you're better. Like, well, yeah and no. Like, I feel better a bit, but I'm still a mess. Or a day where you look okay. So like today I put makeup on. It's the first time I put makeup on probably in about a year. So I think I look at myself and I think, yeah, I look all right. But then I'll get home, take it off, get my hot water bottle out and go and get in bed. And that's what they don't see, do they? They don't see that. And no one cares. You know, you go back to work and people say, oh, you're back. How long are you back till you're next off? And, you know, they're joking, but it's not really funny, is it? Like, no, it's not. Yeah.
that must be like, I don't honestly, I get so annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point now, like I said, where I'm not angry, I just, whatever.
Yeah.
So those suffering with endometriosis, I think so I always say for people in the future, so like my sister, she's been diagnosed with it now, and then I'm conscious that my Pippa, my daughter, will have it in the future. So I'd like sort of like advice to give to people in the future would be, you know, believe in your body. And if someone says to you, you know, it's all in your head, or there's nothing wrong with you, this is just part of being a woman, but it's not. Because there's billions of women in the world, and not everyone can't get out of bed when they're on the period. Not everyone, you know, passes out because the pain's that bad. Not everyone, you know, goes to the toilet to have a wee and all that comes out is blood. Like, it isn't normal. And they say it's not common, and it's so much more common than people think. But just listen to you, believe in yourself, listen to your body. The change I want is longer statutory menstrual leave, because 2 days is just not enough. no one listens, no one cares. You know, it is what it is.
I wasn't
Or you go
believed
to
for such a long
appointments,
time.
I don't sleep.
I was
for like
constantly
6 months.
dismissed,
was soft
told
or
it's not
awful
possible to have
dramatic,
pain all over your body from
nothing
head to
wrong
toe.
with you.
It's like more of
Then
a stabbing type of pain.
The surgery was
Someone's
about 8
twisting
hours
a knife
long.
in your stomach.
I had sort of like some stents.
Dismissed by doctors, not investigated. It was only when I went back to see a female doctor that she referred me for an x-ray.
They
and
just think you
confirmed that I
can't
had a
handle
broken
it.
rib. I'd been going into work
That sort
with a
of
broken
thing.
rib.
And
Had a new belly button put in.
women,
struggling to
doctors
breathe.
and surgeons,
was bedridden.
because if they don't
My
experience
parents
what
became
you
all full-time
experience,
carers because
it's all in your head.
even things like eating was impossible some days, and showering for myself, I was just in that much pain all over my body.